Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in the state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Our family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to code, stop for three. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same power at your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBT let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boy's TV.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins, and welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent black people, the home for intelligent people that actually want to do better, want to see our community grow, want to see us thrive and prosper as a people that believe in the infinite power of black people. And so before we even start our day, I want to remind you guys know in the Black Business School, we have the Black Core of 3. How you doing, Faye Bishop? Faye Bishop, I'm so glad you're here because, Faye, your video that you put on your Instagram, which is, if you look up Faye Bishop, Faye Bishop, that's your last name. Hopefully we can all spell the word Bishop. She actually put up a video of Kanye West quoting Martin Luther King in a really, really powerful way. And I thought that I would talk about that because I thought it was really interesting what he said. And I think people should listen to this. And so anyway, in the Black Business School, we believe in the Black Core of 3. The Black Core of 3 is that we believe black people should educate our own children, create our own jobs, and support black businesses. When you educate your own kids, they avoid white supremacist brainwashing. When you create your own jobs, you ain't got to beg for jobs. When you support black businesses, then you circulate wealth in your community. You ain't got to wait 10,000 years for white folks to write you a shitty reparations check. You actually get to write your own check. So anyway, if you could, in the chat, just give a shout out to black people. Let's give a round of applause for black people and the greatness that we are and all the great things we've done and all the amazing history that we had before we got here. You are not just former slaves. You are something bigger than that. And I think it's important for you to remember that as you kind of move on. So let me go give a round of applause. All right. Give it up for black people. Come on. Because sometimes we got to stop and clap for ourselves. Because I know sometimes I can be hard on my people. You know, I sit around sometimes. And I was talking to Alicia the other day in the car. And I said, can you imagine if we were as passionate about supporting black businesses and educating our children as we are about Popeye's chicken and Black Panther movies and shit? Like, can you imagine how great we could be if that same passion, not to say that there's a problem with, with Popeye's chicken. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. And just be careful. Go read the ingredients and read the health recommendations. I think it's about equivalent to like eating rat poison with sugar on it. I'm not sure. It's somewhere around there, right? It's there's probably something in that chicken, those chicken steroids that got you lined up out the door down the block. There was in fact, because you remember like 50 years ago they used to put cocaine in Coca-Cola. And that helped them understand why people would line up down the street and down the block to get Coca-Cola, because they were like, I gotta have my Coca-Cola. I don't know why. I just need it. It's so good. It makes me think about, when you see like people that are morbidly obese, like literally like one chicken wing away from a stroke and a heart attack, who are like in line all day in the hot sun. Your fat ass out in the hot sun in the line trying to get some damn chicken and ready to kill somebody if they cut in line in front of you. They got something in that chicken, man. We'll find out in about 30 years that they were actually poisoning you. But anyway, with that said, though, I think loving yourself, there's nothing wrong with loving yourself. You should just love yourself as much as you love everybody else. If we loved ourselves half as much as we loved everybody else, I think we wouldn't have any problems. We wouldn't have to wait for a reparations check because we'd be too wealthy to even worry about that. Guido says, what do you think about Stephen A. Smith's comments about Colin Kaepernick? I think it was a set from the NFL because they wanted in their controlled environment. I'm gonna tell you, my homeboy Willie D, out of Houston, love Willie. He doesn't like Stephen A. And I don't like a lot of stuff Stephen A. says. I mean, Stephen A., there's a reason he got that $8 million contract. It's because he's kissing a lot of asses to do that. I still remember those white feminists really hung him out to dry years ago. But sometimes every now and then Stephen A. Smith says something that's not totally wrong. Stephen A. Smith to me is a guy who has a perspective, and it's not a completely ignorant perspective. and it's one that I will listen to, not because I think I agree with everything Stephen A. says, but because I try to understand the alternative points of view. I did not, I think with Stephen A. I think that for him to almost say it like, you blew your opportunity. These white folks was ready to give you a job. They was gonna hire you. They was gonna give you the chance that you could never get on your own. You a fool. You's a fool. You blew it. That's like plantation talk. Like that's a problem, right? Like you done pissed off the white folks now, and now look at you. You're gonna be out here unemployed again, right? That's like the way your grandma used to talk to you back when you were a little kid. But I think there was something happening in terms of Kaepernick being extremely bold and trying to shape the narrative of that whole NFL situation. I mean, I was really kind of blown away. I wouldn't have said the things he said. If I'm looking for a job, now I give them NFL the middle finger because I don't want to go to the NFL. I don't want to play for them. I don't want to work for them. I give the middle finger to pretty much, all the potential employers out there because I don't want a job. But let me just say this. If me, Dr. Boyce Watkins, if I wanted a job, I would not be sort of trying to shape the narrative. Like, well, you said you want to interview me on 18th Street. Well, I'm going to be over here on 33rd Street. So if y'all want to interview me, you're going to have to show up on 33rd Street. And I want my friends on YouTube. I got a YouTube channel. I want everybody on my YouTube channel to be able to watch the interview so that they can see what's going on. And, I'm not going to say that he doesn't have a right to any of those things. He has a right to whatever he wants. But the NFL has a right to do whatever they want to do, right? And I think that's the point, right? Like you have a right to your freedom. Other people got a right to their freedom. So what I say to you is that if you're going in here trying to talk shit to the white man, that's fine. But don't talk shit to the white man and then beg for a job. That don't even make no motherfucking sense. I'm sorry, I don't get that. I don't get the whole bossy begging thing. Like I really, like F you, man, you suck. You can kiss my ass. Oh, but I needs a job so I can pay my bills because I has nowhere to go. Come on, man. Like that's weird. And my mom gave me that when I was a little kid. My mother actually, she would say that to me when I was little. She'd be like, you ain't paying no bills up in this house. So you don't control shit up in here. Right. And so I got that planted in my head when I was 10. I didn't get that my house was not a social justice type of house. I wasn't raised like a white feminist. White women, how they run around all entitled and shit. Like you need to do that. You need to blah, blah. There was a show on Apple Plus that I started watching. Alicia and I started watching it called The Morning Show. I don't know if anybody else is watching this or not. But anyway, we started watching it. It's interesting. First couple episodes were cool. Then the third episode, it just had these two white women literally complaining about everything, bossing people around, yelling at everybody, telling them what to do. You on a job interview, cussing out the person that's going to hire you. And it got on my nerves because I said, this is like privileged, bitchy white women who feel like they have the right to complain about everything, right? And I don't, so I never grew up that way. I don't understand that, right? So it's not to say I don't think Cap has a right to do what he wants. I just think that Cap should understand the NFL has the right to do what they want. Right, you can decide your actions, but you can't determine the terms of the clapback. So if it turns out that the NFL and the teams are like, well, we were thinking about signing you, but you get a little too bossy for somebody who ain't even got a job yet. You pretty bossy for somebody still in the unemployment line. You kind of I don't understand. I don't really know if you have the leverage to start telling us what to do just yet because you ain't won a Super Bowl or nothing, right? So we do have other quarterbacks that can play on our team, right, for millions of dollars. So I think it's their right to say that. And I told y'all from the beginning, if Cap wants to dictate the terms of his own life, get with your friends, get with Jay-Z. I saw LeBron, wish them good luck on his tryout and all this stuff. You got all these homies that got millions of dollars and millions of followers. Why can't you start a league? I don't understand. I'm really trying to figure that out. I'm serious. White people started the NFL with fucking, with like 2 buckets of chicken and a hammer, a nail, and a piece of leather. Like they literally started the NFL with nothing. They had nothing when they started the NFL, and they built this multi-billion-dollar thing. Why can't you do the same thing? You're scared. You don't have vision, man. So it's not a Kaepernick diss. It's to say that if you want to run around here talking shit and dictating the terms of your life, this is true for everybody here. If you want to dictate the terms of your situation, you need to build your own. So let's say this in the chat right now. Build your own. Build your own, BYO, or build your own business, BYOB. Build your own business, right? You must build your own if you want to go dictate the terms of your situations. In my own life, for example, I don't work for anybody. My company is 100% black owned, is 100% voice owned. Except I have a couple of partners that are black, but besides that, it's our shit. I'm the boss. I'm the center of gravity in my universe, right? I like if my businesses are the solar system, I am the fucking sun, and I'm okay with that. I accept this, right? And you know what happens because I'm the sun and I'm the one that's sort of the center of this solar system is my gravitational pull determines the direction of all the planets around me. When I go to a city, every time I go to a city, it happened in DC, it happens everywhere. Every time I go to a city, people always hit me up. Hey, boys, let's have a meeting. Hey, Doc, can we have a meeting? Hey, Dr. Watkins, can we meet for a minute? And you know what I do? I don't really say no all the time. I'll just say, here's my hotel, here's the address. Let me know if you can come by, right? I don't say, well, I'm gonna go get in a cab and go drive to where you are. No, no, no. I say, here's where I'm at. I'm working all day. But you're welcome to come by. And that's if I want to meet with you, right? And why can I do that? Not because I'm a trillionaire, not because white people love me. I can do this because I pull the levers and control the levers of my own operation, right? So a lot of times what I find, and this is my advice to those of you who are sick of white supremacy and racism, is just find some little solar system that's all yours. Start with your own house. Your own house is yours, and you may be the most powerless person in the world, but in that house, you're the man of that house. You're the woman of that house. That's your universe, right? And then you can expand a little bit bigger. You start a little business. Business may be raggedy. You may not be making no money, but that's yours. And I guarantee you that the pride you feel from shaping and controlling your own narrative is going to typically exceed whatever you might have made as a paycheck working for somebody else. 9 times out of 10. That's like a paycheck in itself. Freedom and power are paychecks in themselves. So I just want you to have freedom and have power. That's my thought on this. Now do me a favor, please hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the Black Financial Channel, go to theblackfinancialchannel.com. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. Speak on your partnerships more. What percentage do you own? It depends. I have about 7 or 8 of them, so I can't tell you exactly which percentages I own in all of them. Some are 100%, some are 80, some are 50, that kind of thing. Let me see here. Okay, so let's talk about Kanye real quick. So Kanye made a quote. Faye Bishop put it on her Instagram. Go follow Faye Bishop on Instagram. Faye Bishop is a very smart lady and very cool lady. And anyway, on this in this quote, Kanye was talking about Martin Luther King, and he said a couple of interesting things about Dr. King that I thought people should hear, right? I think we should think about. Now, before I begin, let me ask a yes or no question. Give me a yes or no. Do you think Kanye West is crazy? Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you think he's crazy? Give me a yes or no. I'm gonna send a message out to the family while you guys answer that question. So give me a yes or no. Do you think Kanye West is crazy? And if you want to answer something other than, okay, I see, okay, let's see here. Burns says nah. DB Cooper says no. Bold Gentleman, no. The Cannon Movement, no. Darren Bradley, no. Faye Bishop says no. Wow, a lot of no's. Interesting, very interesting. Okay, now, do you think, let me ask you this. Has your opinion, remember a year and a half ago when Kanye was on TMZ and he said, slavery is a choice, and the whole world went crazy, people got mad, etc. Which it's their right to get mad or not mad. It's totally up to you. There was a certain opinion people had of Kanye then, and then there's an opinion people have of him now. Has your opinion about Kanye changed? And give me a yes or no. Has it changed since he said slavery was a choice? Like, have you like sort of listened to him and seen yourself sort of say, maybe he's got a point. Maybe he's not crazy after all. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. Tasha says not at all. Darren says yes. Okay. Let me see who else. Look at some of the other comments. Okay. Cashville says no, fuck him. Kim says no. Linda says yes. Darnell, no. The Cannon Movement, no. Hannah, he's very intelligent. Split Complex says no. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so I'm going to say that I'm in the category where my opinion of Kanye evolved since he said slavery was a choice. Um, Not that I had a big issue with his slavery comment, because if you really think about it, at the root of it all, almost everything's a choice. I mean, like for because you could choose death. Like there were slaves who chose death over Nat Turner. Nat Turner made slavery a choice, whether they wanted it to be a choice or not. They said, well, you have to be a slave. You have no choice. And Nat Turner said, no, I got a choice. I always have a choice. So I'm just choosing to die. And I think that's a very important thing to grab, to hold on to for your own empowerment, is to understand that you always have a choice. No matter what's going on in your life, you always have a choice. So you might say, well, I did X, Y, Z, and I was in my job cooning because I had no choice. Right? No, some people would say, no, I always have a choice. You will never tell me that I don't have a choice in this matter. I just might have a very tough choice, a very bad choice, but I always have a choice. Now, making a statement like that is a problem because it is insensitive in the sense that, you weren't there. Like Kanye's never been a slave. Kanye is a rich guy. He's never known what it's like to be on a plantation, in 1702 and having your whole family ripped apart and everything slaves went through. So for him to kind of just say, oh, it was a choice, like slavery was a choice. We could have got out of slavery. That's fine to say that, but to some extent, it's kind of like that's up to the slaves to say something like that, right? In a way, it's a lot like when politicians judge the actions of soldiers on the battlefield, right? When they say, oh, well, when you were in that situation, when you were surrounded by the Taliban and they were about to kill you and you were in a ditch, you should have done this. But instead you did that. Well, if I'm a soldier, I'm sorry. Shout out to all the veterans up in here. But if I'm a soldier, I'm going to be like, fuck all of y'all. You little privileged ass congressmen who ain't never been to war, ain't never sent your damn kids. You don't know nothing about what it's like to be in a situation where you are surrounded by people with guns and grenades that want to kill you. So stop it. Stop trying to act like you can put yourself in my shoes, because you've never been in my shoes. Right? So we've never been in the shoes of our ancestors. We've never known what it's like to be a slave. So it's very, very important for us to at least show that respect, to kind of say, theoretically, it always is a choice, but we must empathize with what the slaves went through, because many of them probably felt like they didn't have a choice. At the very least, it was a very difficult choice. Okay. So I think the Kanye comment, I wouldn't have made that same comment, and if I did, I would have made it with a long explanation. I wouldn't have just said slavery was a choice, right? So sometimes Kanye acts a little crazy, acts a little weird. I don't think his mother Donda would be totally happy with everything that's happened since she passed. It's like Tiger Woods. I feel like he kind of lost his way a little bit when his mama was gone. But here's the thing, interesting thing about Donda as well, and Kanye, is that I think Donda did a great job of giving him a certain foundation of blackness that I'm telling you guys to give to your kids, right? This is what they carry with them. This is their rock. This is what's going to weigh them down when the world starts trying to blow them in different directions. If you have a rock that's weighing you down in one spot, then when the wind blows, you're not going to be one of these floating Negroes who's just floating in every direction. So the Democratic Party is full of flighty, floaty Negroes. White people start talking about immigration. They're like, immigration, immigration. White people start talking about feminism. They're like, feminism, feminism. Me too, me too, me too. Right? Whatever white people do, they do. Why? Well, because they don't know who they are. They never got a rock. They never got a foundation. Nobody planted them in a spot and said, this is who you are. So when the wind blows, you might do like this. You might do like this, but you ain't gonna blow away. You're a rock. You're not a leaf. Right? So Kanye's mother, Donda, I give props to his mama, and I don't know much about his father. I think he just reunited with his dad. That's probably playing a part in it as well. I saw something about him reuniting with his dad because he was out actually in Montana somewhere where lots of white people live. And actually, he was out there with Victory Boyd, who's a great singer, by the way. You should look up Victory Boyd. Victory Boyd performed at the first two all-black national conventions, and she got discovered. She says that she really became big after we posted her on our Facebook page, and I'm so happy for her. Like, I'm really proud of her, and her family's very pro-black. Her dad, I know her dad well. She's going to sing at our wedding on July 11th, which everybody's invited to, and her whole family is going to perform. We're inviting the whole family to perform. But she was out there performing with Kanye at that time, and Kanye apparently looked like he reunited with his dad, and I'm wondering if that's also shaping who he is, because I'm thinking, okay, he's reuniting with his dad. His dad married a woman like Donda. I think you have to be a certain kind of black man to really appreciate a really intelligent, highly educated black woman who's teaching classes on the south side of Chicago at Chicago State University, who knows her history, she knows her heritage, she knows who she is. So he's getting influenced by his dad, who was the kind of man who would marry Donda. I'd be stunned if his dad was some old, buck dancing Negro. I would be absolutely floored to find out that his dad was not a real one. So I think with Kanye, I think this influence from his father is part of what's driving this whole, resurgence of blackness, within his soul. And I think it's great. So let me tell you what Kanye said. Okay, so hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button, the share button, the subscribe button, and stuff like that. Let's see. Break down the Grant Cardone's latest interview with DJ Vlad when you can. I didn't know he interviewed with Vlad again. I did a Grant Cardone video a while back. Maybe there's more to talk about. I don't know. I don't want to sit around and talk about white people all day. That y'all do that enough. We do that already. Like, seriously, they're not the center of the universe. So Grant Cardone, God bless him, smart man. But this is about us. This ain't about him. But I might look at it because you can learn from everybody, right? All right. So anyway, so one thing Kanye said that I thought was really great was he talked about Dr. King and why they killed Dr. King. And he invoked the legacy of Dr. King in what I felt was a genuine way. I feel like it wasn't quite the same as when Byron Allen invoked the legacy of Dr. King, because I feel that Byron Allen brought up Dr. King in his Breakfast Club interview, partly so that he could win a lawsuit against Comcast. Now, that does not make him a bad person, though. That does not mean he was out here saying, "Oh, how many black people can I manipulate today?" I think it's more like there's a deeper, more complex agenda that you have to kind of be aware of, right? For example, I think that there is a reason, for example, that even with the ADOS movement, there's a reason why they're doing a lot of broadcasting now off the griot. With the griot is owned by Byron Allen, so Byron Allen is a smart guy, a tactician who's positioning himself as the wealthy guy that's kind of behind some of these alleged grassroots movements in the black community, things like that. So I think. With Byron Allen, it was a different kind of thing. I feel like Kanye just kind of speaks from his soul, and I like that, even if what comes out sounds a little bit weird. And one of the things that he mentioned about Dr. King that I thought was quite fascinating was he said that they killed Dr. King over money, which I think a lot of us know this, and we know that this is true. We know that when Dr. King started talking about the Poor People's Campaign and really started doing things that were going to disrupt the money, that's when you started really seeing, the violence toward him sort of spike up. He knew he was going to die. From what I understand, from what Dr. King's, one of his best friends actually said, one of his best white friends anyway, he said that also Martin Luther King was planning on running for president. And that was one of the reasons why he became a threat, because they thought about, like, okay, wait a minute, what the hell? Like, if we get all these poor people, millions and millions of poor people and millions of black people all coming to Washington, really feeling like they have the power to actually change something, then that's going to make things really difficult. We won't be able to control those sorts of masses. We can kind of control the black people that follow him now, but we can't control, if he crosses the river and gets poor people to join with him, and then also starts talking about the economics. So Kanye is right. And what's really interesting was in this video, Kanye actually said something about the fact that he thinks they might kill him. He said, I want to say it right now. I don't want them to kill me either. And, I don't think that that's a crazy thing for him to say. I don't, give me a yes or no. Do you think that it's possible that they could kill Kanye West? Yes or no? Do you think it's possible that there are people who thought about taking him out, making sure he disappears, making sure, he don't breathe again, that he's hanging out with his mother Donda for good? Okay, I'm seeing a lot of yeses from Stephen and Greg and Lewis. Lewis says no. Okay, Chris Walters, not a threat. Okay, interesting. Let's see here. Dr. King said we're going to Washington to pick up our check, to get our check. Yes, yes, that is absolutely what he said. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna put a yes on that, Bob. I'll take yes for $50. And the reason I say yes is because Kanye is kind of being extremely honest, about a lot of things, and the biggest thing that would probably worry me the most about his life is that he's disrupting the Democratic Party machine. He's almost making it kind of cool to consider, not being a Democrat or to be a Republican or whatever. For a long time, the Democrats kind of hijacked the cool factor, right? They were the ones who would hold the rap concerts to get black people to come and vote for them. They've done it 1,000 times. They use your entertainers and your pastors to get to you. They're the ones who are going to the black churches, to get black people to show up and vote for them. They're not used to seeing the Republicans bringing rappers together to get black people to vote for them. They're like, wait, these are our Negroes. Like, that's our trick. That's our strategy. You can't use our strategy to get these Negroes to vote for you. They're not used to, a rapper showing up or anybody showing up at black churches and persuading black people to consider not voting for the Democrats, right? Because they're used to being the only ones who show up in the church, eat barbecue chicken with the pastor, and play that game. And I'll tell you what, I love it actually. I think that his little whatever that tour, Jesus, God is good, God is king. I don't get it. I don't. It's confusing for me, but I think the tour is great. I'm like, wow, this is so funny. I love watching white people squirm. I love watching them get called on their bullshit, and because it's all theater to me. It's all theater because I really don't believe that Democrats or Republicans are going to save you. That's my personal philosophy. I'm not telling you what you believe. I'm just telling you that this is what I believe. So I think it's all really entertainment for me. And I think that the reactions that people are giving him in terms of just really dismissing and attacking him because he's exercising his freedom of expression, that actually, the more they attack him, the more they prove his point. The more they go after him, the more they're proving the fundamental point that he's made, lots of people have made. I bet his mother Donda would have made the same point. The point they're making is this. The Democrats often will make the argument that they're there to protect your freedoms. That a vote for them is a vote for, liberty and all the things your ancestors died for. But when you go and you vote for another party, then suddenly, you're attacked, you're chastised, you become the devil. Something's wrong with you. You're terrible. You're a traitor to your race. They kind of beat up on you, right? Like as Kanye used the words, he said, they didn't actually kill me, but they killed me in the press for exercising my freedom. They killed me in the press. That's what he said. So I'm sitting here thinking, well, what freedoms exactly are you referring to? What freedom did you actually give me when you told me that if I don't vote for you, you're going to come kick my ass and cuss me out and call me all kinds of names, right? Like that's the thing. I'm trying to figure this out. Like seriously, like think about this, right? In a way, the mafia does that. The mafia comes by. If you open up a shop in like an Italian neighborhood or something in New York, there might be somebody that comes by and says, "Oh, I see you have a bakery here. It's a nice bakery. And we just want you to know that there are lots of dangerous thugs out here who might come by and bust your window, burn down your business, and murder your family. So we're here to offer you protection. Just give us, $500 a week, and we will make sure that you're protected from all the thugs and the killers who might come by and castrate you in front of your wife." Right? What are they really saying to you? Are they really trying to protect you? Are they really keeping you safe? Or is that like a subtle threat? Is that like a sneaky way to say, we know the killers are coming because the killers might be us? Right? Do you follow what I'm saying? So to some extent, the Democrats, they position themselves in kind of a pimp, gangster kind of way. Like, look, vote for us, or the Republicans are going to come and take everything away from you. They're going to do all these terrible things to you. They're going to reinstitute slavery. We heard y'all that they about to revoke the 13th Amendment, and all y'all going to be slaves next week if you don't vote for us. And then when you say, well, what are you going to give me for my vote? They're like, well, that's none of your damn business. Just shut up. Just be glad that we're here, because without us, you wouldn't have nothing, because you're really just a nigger anyway. Right? So really, in my mind, I feel like I'm being called a nigger by both of the political parties. I don't, it doesn't make me feel any freer to go and support one side versus the other. And when they when they do the most insulting thing, which is to invoke the sacred legacy of your ancestors into the conversation and say your ancestors died for you to have the right to vote. My first thought, honestly, is keep my fucking ancestors' names out of your mouth. You have no right to even bring them up in a conversation without my permission. Number two, they did not die for me to have the right to vote for you. They died for me to have the right to be free. Freedom means I can do what I want. And so I'm not here to tell you guys on any level who to vote for. I told you, I do this over. I do not tell you who to vote for. Now pay attention. I was actually banned from Ebony magazine and banned from a lot of things just because I told black people to vote for whoever you want. Just because I didn't get banned because I said go vote for the Republicans. I would never do that. Why would I do that? I'm not a Republican, right? I got banned just for saying do what you want, do what's best for you, and then just come back. Let's keep talking. Let's keep being intellectual. I don't care who you vote for, right? And so think about this. If they are offended and upset and angry just because I told you to exercise your God-given freedom to vote for who you want, just because I told you to be free, if they're offended by the idea of freedom for black people, then what does that make them? That makes them slave masters. That makes them pimps. That makes them the bosses that think they can control you. Seriously, anybody, I'm just going to tell you like this, at the end of the day, anybody who is offended and upset because you are exercising your freedom is typically not your damn friend. They are not your friend. They are a fake ally with an agenda. And as long as you do what they tell you to do, as long as you follow their agenda, then you good. The minute you start doing what's best for you, they start tripping. Okay, so I'm not saying that you shouldn't vote for the Democrats or the I don't care. I don't care. You go vote for the Democrats. That's fine. I'm not judging that. I'm just saying, there's nothing wrong with the idea of freedom. And so with Kanye, I'm gonna tell you like this. My verdict on Kanye is I have no problem with anything that he's doing. Kanye's being an American. Kanye's being a human being. Kanye is doing whatever he wants to do. He's doing something all of y'all need to do, really. A lot of y'all need to follow your passion, man. Follow your bliss. Just think it through. Like, don't be out here just saying crazy stuff. I mean, like I said, sometimes Kanye gets a little bit overboard. We know this, right? He's a passionate artist, and also he's trying to get publicity. So sometimes artists will go overboard to get additional attention. But at the core of it all, you look at him, and then you look at his wife, Kim Kardashian. We know everybody gave Kim a hard time, still do, because y'all know how she got started, right, in this game. Y'all know the origins of Kim Kardashian's enormous fame. But she's going to the prisons and helping get black people out of jail. You can't get mad at that. Like, I'm not mad at that. Like, I'm not saying she's like Mother Teresa or like the greatest. She's not Frederick Douglass or whatever. But she's doing something positive that most people in her position do not do. Most socialites on the internet who make their money just by taking selfies with makeup on don't go and say, I'm going to go get this black man out of prison, who's accused of doing something terrible to white people, right? Like, I just think that we have room to say, okay, good job. In fact, I'll tell you guys, just on a personal level, I never met Kim. But when Russell Simmons and I put together that letter for President Obama in 2013 to get him to change policy on incarceration, one of the first signatures we got on that letter was Kim Kardashian and the whole Kardashian family. I just got to give props on that. Kanye West signed the letter. Even people like Lil Wayne signed, which I don't like. Y'all know I don't like Lil Wayne that much. I have a big issue with some of what I've seen on him. But, Will and Jada, Justin Bieber, like signed, so a lot of really interesting people signed this letter. And that actually we needed all that celebrity weight to literally get the Obama administration to even budge on the incarceration issue. You'd be amazed. I was stunned by how little they wanted to do anything that involved black people. I was blown away by it. I was angry. Russell was the cool one. Russell was like, no, we got to be diplomatic. I'm like, man, fuck these people. What the hell's wrong with these? What they up here getting black votes and then don't even want to do nothing for black people? Are you kidding me? Like, what is wrong? I need to sit down. I really need. I need to do a brain probe and figure out what's going on inside the head of this man that makes him think that this makes any sense. I need to know. Maybe there's a missing variable that I'm not aware of. Maybe they're threatening to kill him or something. I need to know, because I couldn't understand it. Incarceration was like a slam dunk in terms of something that we know we needed to address, something you promised you would address. When Obama was telling everybody to go vote, I don't know if you remember that, when he was saying it would be a personal insult if you do not show up and vote. I will consider it an insult to my legacy if you do not show up and vote. Well, first of all, fuck your legacy. Seriously, like it ain't about you. No disrespect, but just fuck your legacy. Seriously. But also, I'm thinking about the legacy of black people, not the legacy of you. But then also, he's like, good schools are on the ballot. Mass incarceration is on the ballot. Well, yeah, it's kind of on the ballot, but if we had to work that hard to get you to budge and do anything on the issue of incarceration, was it really on the ballot, or did you pretend like it was on the ballot? I don't know. I'm not dissing. Well, maybe I am a little bit. Y'all know how I am. But still, it's fascinating, that what we will accept because we don't think we can do any better. And to going back to Kanye's original point when he says slavery was a choice and everybody got pissed off, go back to that original point and think about this, right? What he's basically saying is that, in my opinion, or my interpretation, this is me speaking, I'm going to translate some Kanye for y'all. My interpretation is that when he says slavery was a choice, I think I like what he's saying in the sense of saying, a lot of the things that you think are not a choice are actually a choice. right? A lot of times when you think you had to do something, you didn't actually have to do it. Like it's like when your child goes to school and all the kids do something and it's stupid, and then your child says, "Well, I had to do it because everybody else is doing it." What are you gonna say? You're gonna be like, "No, you had a choice. You didn't have to do that." Right? Well, the same thing's true with you as black people. We as a collective, we suffer from a low self-esteem issue that makes us think we have to do things that we do not have to do. You do not have to vote for any particular political party. You just feel like you feel like you have to, right? You do not have to go work for white people. You just feel like you have to. You do not have to go and try the Popeye's chicken sandwich just because white people put out another piece of, refried diabetes, right? You don't have to do that, right? You just choose to do that, right? So ultimately, at the end of the day, remembering that you have choices is one of the first steps toward your liberty and toward your freedom. And that goes for everything from your personal relationships to business to life to how you raise your damn kids. Because I'm going to tell you, the reason I am the man I am now, whichever that is, I'm either a great man or I'm an asshole, either one, maybe I'm both, maybe I'm neither, I don't give a shit. But the reason I'm the man that I am today is because when I was a kid, when I grew up, now I showed you guys, I did a video where I showed you guys the housing project I was born in. I lived there for about 3 years, and we lived in government assisted housing until I was about 11 years old. My parents eventually saved up their money and got a house. And so growing up, I was in that space where you were poor. Anybody else grew up like this where you were poor, but you didn't know you were poor because nobody else had more than you did? Like, so you were poor, and then you look back, you're like, damn, I was poor as shit. And you didn't even know it. Like, anybody feel that way? That was my growing up. That was my upbringing. Like, I was poor, but I did not know I was poor. But the thing is, with being poor, you just see a lot of weird, dysfunctional shit. I don't know if anybody else says like dysfunctional relatives or friends. They just do like their families just poverty is a motherfucker. Like poverty will cause terrible things to happen in families that just doesn't usually happen in middle class families, right? So I just saw a lot of weird things. I had some interesting people I grew up with, and a lot of their kids would be the same age as me. And what was interesting was my mother, who gave birth to me as a 17-year-old single mom. Now, she just for some reason was different with me and my sister. So I would go do something with my friends, and we'd all get in trouble because we go to the store, maybe we steal a candy bar or something, and their mothers wouldn't punish them, and my mother would always punish me, right? In fact, my mother punished me one time. I had a cousin. This pissed me off. We went to the store. This little motherfucker stole a candy bar, and here I am trying to. I'm doing I'm on the G code. Like I didn't snitch. I was just like, oh, you took that candy bar, right? But I didn't say nothing. Like ain't nobody you're not gonna tell on your cousin, right? So he goes and tells his mama. His mama finds the candy bar. Says, where'd you get this candy bar? Because she knew he didn't have no money. So he says, oh, boy stole it, right? So my mother gets a call from his mother saying your son stole a candy bar, and I was like pissed. I was so livid. I was so mad. Like I was like, this son of a bitch. I was 9, like just in the backseat, like going crazy because it was an injustice, right? It was like because I know I didn't steal anything, and I remember my mother was just like, and I don't know if this is right or wrong, but she was like, but you had a choice. You had a choice. You could have protected yourself and did the right thing. Now, again, I still don't know if I would have snitched, even if I could live that situation over again. But it did make me, it makes me reflect on the fact that my mother raised me in a kind of a different way. And my mother had no problem deviating from what the other parents were doing. She always knew she had a choice as a mom. And so when you grow up, and so 30 years later, you look down the line, and I look at my life, right? I do what I do. My sister's a physician. She does very well for herself. My brother went to an Ivy League school. We had no friends like that. None of our friends did anything like that. None of the kids we used to play with when we were little did anything like that. I'm talking about everything from drugs to prison to death. The sort of typical Negro package sort of happened to a lot of my friends. And a lot of it was because my mother always knew she had a choice. She didn't have to do what the other moms are doing. She did what she was going to do, right? So at the end of the day, you got a choice. And I'm telling you, as a black person in America, if you want to be successful, you need to make sure your choices are as clear and as independent as they can possibly be, and that you spend as little time as possible following the masses. Because the masses of black people are sheep. The masses of black people are going straight to hell. The masses of black people are part of that statistic that black wealth is going to drop to zero by 2053. The masses of black people aren't getting appropriately educated. Their children aren't, because they're determined to send their children to white people to educate them. The masses of black people, unfortunately, only know how to sit around and complain about what white people are doing to them, because they never realize they have a choice to get away from that shit. The masses of black people are going through depression. The masses of black people are in the midst of the struggle. And I'm telling you that you do have a choice. So I'm not telling you what choice to make. I'm just telling you to remember that you have one and to make your choice. Like E40 said. Anybody heard the E40 song? Everybody got choices. You know, like seriously, it's a great song, by the way. Best song he ever did. So go listen to the E40 song called Choices. It's really good. But anyway, so the point is that you always have a choice. I don't care what choice you make. Just know that you have the choice and the power is in your hands. You have the power at the end of the day to shape what happens in your life and the life of your family. I do believe that. All right, so do me a favor, guys. Please hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Also, quick reminder, if you have a black-owned business, we're looking to register as many black-owned businesses as possible. We're creating a nationwide database. So go to theblackbusinesslist.com. That's theblackbusinesslist.com. You can register your business. For now, it's totally free. So get your business in the database. Number two, if you want to send your children to business school, we believe one of our strategies is that if we send our kids to business school early, they can be ahead of other children. We have a great program for children. It's at blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. That's blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. So what I did was I took everything I taught college students and I broke it down to where a 7-year-old can understand it. So if your child is 6 or 7 or older, then the Black Millionaires of Tomorrow program would be good for them. blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. Also, last but not least, if you're interested in building wealth in your family and learning how these tools and strategies work, feel free to go check out theblackbusinessschool.com, theblackbusinessschool.com. That's how we sponsor this podcast and everything else. So I think you guys will love it. You can get started for free, and you can talk to one of our experts right now to talk about your future. So hit the thumbs up button right now, the thumbs up button, the subscribe button, and also the notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live. And I want to say thank you guys for hanging out with me. It was real. I'm out. Have a good day. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.